Sawmill's not running today, so there's not going to be any sawing videos, but I do have one here that you might be interested in, so let's watch it together. Welcome back, anybody. Today I'm putting siding on the addition to the shop, and you're probably wondering how I got to this point without you knowing it. Well, why don't you stay tuned, and I'll show you what I did to this point and what we're going to do from here on out. The slab for the addition is about 1 foot wider than the addition, and because of this, rainwater comes down, can hit the concrete and bounce up onto the siding. I'm trying to avoid that, so what I've got here is some 1x8 rot resistant boards, no idea what they're made of, and I'm ripping them down so that they're all the same width. And in the ripping process, I'm putting a 15-degree bevel on the one edge, as you can see. That edge is going to be on the top of the board, and the bottom of the board is actually going to rest right on the concrete itself. These rot-resistant boards are being put directly on the concrete, and hopefully what they will do is absorb most of the splashing from rainwater coming down. The 15-degree bevel on top will match the 15-degree bevel on the siding. Any water that happens to get onto the siding and runs down the front of the siding should also run over the top of this rot-resistant material onto the concrete and go away. And hopefully by doing all of that, I'll eliminate any problem with rot. Please don't ask me what this material is. I have absolutely no idea. All right, you just saw me cut these 1x12s using a chainsaw, and you're thinking to yourself, that's a pretty crude way of doing it. And you'd be right. The thing is, though, the crude cuts, which they are going to be hidden. Nobody's ever going to see them, at least when I have to worry about it. So I did that because I can cut, in this case, 5 cuts, 5 boards all in one shot. So that's the plan. So now what I'm going to do is measure from each end toward the middle, and I need to cut a 15-degree cut for the drip edge of the siding, and I'm just going to measure 70¼ inches. And you're probably wondering why I'm going to cut a 15-degree cut instead of either square or something else. And it's because many years ago, my father said that if you're cutting exposed wood siding or whatever, that a 15-degree cut on the outside with the point pointing away from the building, any rainwater that gets on the side, which is going to be all the time, is going to have a tendency to drip off the tip or the point and not soak into the grain behind. So we're going to put a mark at about 70 inches here, and we're going to go from the other end and put a mark at 70¼ inches, which is right here. And you're wondering why the 2 different measurements. Well, since I'm going to be cutting from the same side here, one of these cuts is going to be angled this way. They're both angled this way, but obviously they're going to be a different measurement because of the 15-degree angle. So we've got that, we've got that. We've got our supports here, so we should be good. And I've already got my saw set at 15 degrees or so. So let's get started. And again, these dimensions and cuts don't have to be perfect because it's all going to be hidden anyway. All right, we need to put another support in there someplace, but everything seems to be okay, so we're just going to move on down here. Now, I've been doing this all along, and I think the problem I've got is I don't have enough supports holding the board, and it has a tendency to flex a little bit. So next time I'm going to put the supports closer together. But right now, all I'm going to do is cut these boards, and just for giggles, we're going to take this 70-inch board and flip it around and see how long it is compared to a 70¼ inch board, and then I can make adjustments later, because again, nobody's going to ever see this, and we are close enough for me, so I'm happy with that. All right, first thing I've got to do is I've got to take this board off, and you're wondering why, and the answer is going to answer not only the question why, but another question that was asked a while ago by somebody who said they really didn't like the idea of the cantilever design on the Wood-Mizer LT40 and that series, and if I ever had a problem with wedge-shaped boards not caused by my leaving the toe board up. And I said, generally, no, I don't have that issue. This board, on the other hand, is different. It is, not that you really care, but you're going to know anyway, as I milled it, just over 1 inch on the one end, like it's supposed to be, and on the other end, 1 3/16 inches. So the only thing I can think of is somehow the cant got canted and cut one wedge board. And that does happen. Sometimes you'll get a piece of bark or something underneath between the bunk and your cant, and it screws it up a little bit. So we're going to set this aside.